AskReddit by Rex678. What is immoral but legal? NSFW. Lying on the news. I'll add to this, instead of stating facts, stating an opinion on facts. Like instead of saying the president raised taxes on gas, you say once again, President Schmudley has stuck it to the little guy by raising the price of gas to the applause of his oil baron friends. Like just tell us the facts and let us decide what to think of it. Child beauty pageants. It's creepy as hell. Talent shows and spelling bees are cool, but grown-ass adults judging which kid looks the best? Nah. Difficult to cancel gym subscriptions. Please call, email, submit a sonnet in oldie English on a papyrus scroll and wait 90 days, then your membership will be cancelled. If at all. Firing an old employee who's about to retire and putting an intern who works for peanuts in his place. Is this a thing that happens? My understanding is that very few private businesses offer pensions these days, so there is no incentive to do this in the private sector, and the public sector tends to have much stricter rules, making firing much harder. Us Congress people buying and selling stocks based on insider information. And essentially making the rules for themselves. Payday lending. It's one of those things that's not immoral in theory, but very much is in practice. In theory, micro-lending is supposed to provide a stopgap for people who are struggling with money, and get a nasty surprise like the car breaking down or the boiler conking out, and they need some way to pay to fix it. If they're told up front what they're paying back, and how much the lender stands to make from the transaction, that's fine. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that in practice. Even if a payday lender is run ethically, it's still a sad fact that being poor is very expensive, and nasty surprises can crop up far more regularly than we realize. Even microcredit acquired in good faith can quickly trap you and swallow you up like quicksand. And as we all know, paydays lenders are rarely run ethically. Civil asset forfeiture. Yay, the law initially was supposed to be you forfeited any assets gained through the crimes you committed, but now it's spun out of control and the popo abuse the heck out of it. Selling me a frying pan with lifetime guarantee and it only lasting 6 months. They guaranteed it for its entire lifetime of 6 months. Withholding medicine from sick people is 100% legal if their insurance provider allows it, which is most of the time. Hell, one time I had a prescription, and a pharmacy couldn't access my insurance through the computer, so they wouldn't sell it to me. I said, I'll pay the full price for it, they don't cover this one anyway. And they would not sell it to me. Haven't bought anything from CVS since. Apparently insider trading if you're a politician. Waiting until you go missing now lol. Taking on a 57-year-old for a low-level, unschooled job and then firing him at the end of his probation because you have taken on more teenagers in the meantime. Yeah, I had a boss who pulled this shit. It's 100% legal, and yet it made me so angry that I restarted my search for a new job. That poor guy put so much effort into showing his best and it still wasn't enough for that asshole. Even the junior managers were angry and didn't believe the claim that the employee just wasn't good enough. Screw that boss. I quit a job because they made an unpaid intern in his late 40s commute for 4 hours a day only to not give him a position after a year. Totally fucked. Dude works so hard too and did a great job. Insider trading if you're an elected official. Child marriage. In some states in the south of Mexico, girls under the age of 16 are forced to marry adults in exchange of money for the family. These states together are the majority of voters in favor of the president. Multiple organizations called for a stop of these child selling, but the president said it's their customs and they are in their right to continue. He doesn't want to lose their votes. Using your kids to get subscribers to your any social media channel. This is why I refuse to let my daughter watch Ryan's World. Corporate lobbying. Legalized bribery. Drinking and or smoking while you're pregnant. I know it's illegal in some states, but I'm going to add smoking in a car that has children in it. Even when I smoked, smoking around children felt vile. Paying people less than minimum wage because they are disabled. Paying people less than minimum wage and expecting the customer to pay the rest instead also. For-profit prisons. The percentage of Americans in the prison system has more than doubled since 1985. Fear trying to build a prison. Romanticizing stalking and harassment in movies. As a victim of stalking and domestic abuse for the past 10 years, romance films like Twilight and 50 Shades make me physically ill. There is nothing cute about my ex-boyfriend sitting outside my apartment to watch my bedroom window, trying to break in while I slept because he knew I lived alone, calling me from different numbers and pretending to be other people, harassing my friends and family for updates about me, hacking into my Facebook account to download my photos and read through my private messages, or even the love bombing that preceded all that. It's fucking terrifying. I'm fucking scared for my life. Getting rich off a charity, i.e. total contributions to your non-profit $1 million, your costs personal fee salary for running the charity $990,000. Looking at you Justin Trudeau and We Charity. Charging so much for medication. Some old Dutch guy just admitted this week on Live TV that he and his college friends raped an unconscious girl by putting a big candle inside her 50 years ago. Apparently a lot of PPL found it a youth mistake and the law finds it too long ago. Also the other presentators were laughing with him. So yeah, raping a woman and then laughing about it 50 years later on Live TV in the Netherlands is legal. My mom told me about that this morning. I was absolutely disgusted. Accepting corporate money in politics. How much do you have to pay at the hospital or how fucked up the legal system is? Factory farming. Phone support where no humans engage in support. The actual age of consent in many places. Corporations buying homes, pricing out the public and jacking up rental home rates. Hot take, corporations shouldn't be able to own any real estate that is zoned as residential. Any real estate they do buy should be zoned as commercial, and if people are intended to rent there, it should have a minimum occupancy of at least a couple dozen individual units. People above the age 75 running a country, but being considered too old to work at any other job. Paging minimum wage for an above minimum wage job. You can be an 11-year-old girl that is pregnant due to incestuous rape and not be allowed an abortion in some states if you're more than 6 weeks pregnant. If you think that's okay, you can go straight to hell. Fairly certain is some states doctors helping with abortion lands more jail time than rapists. This is all us stuff. And X200B. Gerrymandering. Us lawmakers being allowed to bet on the stock market. Gerrymandering. For-profit healthcare system. Oh no, there's no vested interest in keeping people sick, not at all. Corporate lobbying of lawmakers. Did I mention gerrymandering yet? Gerrymandering is something I'm really too European to understand. But I live in Poland, so I'm fucked anyway. Making people to mail a letter to a physical address to unsubscribe from emails. No term limits in Congress. Don't care if you are Republican or Democrat, much of our issues would be resolved if this wasn't a thing. I don't know, The way our system works, if we introduced term limits, our bullshit politicians would just spend even more time lobbying and raising money. A better move would be to establish strict laws prohibiting congresspeople from taking corporate money, and detailed money tracking, and swift, decisive punishment for violating those laws. We need to get corporate money out of politics. After that, sure, let's do term limits. Having 20 kids and naming them 1, 2, 3, 4, fucking Jeff, 6, 7. It is legal to bribe our elected officials. It's called campaign contributions. Dating someone you raised or were part of their childhood as an adult. Ex, your ex stepkid. Your friend's kid. Your kid's friends. The kid you babysat. Renting prices increasing over 100% to force people out. Buying and selling people's debt. Creating the practice of confining an animal to a small crate so they can't move for almost their entire lives. Such tight environments are a spawning ground for bacteria which can lead to untreated infections, open wounds, and other spreadable diseases. Mothers also accidentally crush their babies during nursing when confined so tightly. It's a form of torture that most wouldn't wish on their worst enemies, yet it's standard practice in factory farms and carried out on tens of millions of pigs annually. https://en.m.wikipedia.org/wiki/gestation_crate